opinion that the grounds specified for the dismissal of the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development as contained in the proposed motion A are framed clearly to particularize and disclose a gross violation of the Constitution and other written law, in this case being the Penal Code and Leadership and Integrity Act. B, state with precision the provisions of the Constitution or other written law, in this case the Penal Code and the Leadership and Integrity Act, that are alleged to have been grossly violated, and C, are accompanied by necessary evidence, including annexures, sworn testimonies in respect of the allegations. Consequently, the grounds for dismissal of the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development and as contained in the proposed motion comply with the requirements of Standing Order 64, 1A and 66. This also settles the second issue. Honorable members, in view of the foregoing, I find that the proposed special motion meets the applicable procedural requirements for it to be admitted to the next stage. Order. Order. You can cheer after I've finished my ruling. Those foot thumpings are an interruption. In this regard, honorable members, as with a light touch, I note that Standing Order 47-4A provides that a member shall give notice of motion in the House within 3 sitting days following approval by the Speaker. In the circumstances following my approval of the proposed motion, I will allow the member for Bumula to give the notice of motion for dismissal of the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development this afternoon under Order number 6 on notices of motion. Once the honorable member gives the notice of the motion under Standing Order 47-4A, the motion shall proceed to the next stage. Honorable members, I'll now highlight a summary of what is expected of the House once the member gives the notice of the motion. In terms of timeline, pursuant to Standing Order 64 and 66, the House is required to dispose of the motion within 7 days of the member giving notice under Standing Order 47. In the event the House does not adhere to the timeline, the motion shall be deemed to have been withdrawn and shall not be moved again in the same session except with the leave of the Speaker. Consequently, if the member for Bumula gives notice this afternoon, the House has until next week, Tuesday, 7th May 2024, to dispose of the motion. However, noting the House is scheduled to proceed on a one-month recess from Friday, 3rd May 2024, it is advisable that the House disposes of this motion by Thursday, 2nd May 2024. This shall allow the House to become seized of the matter before proceeding on recess. Honorable members, under Article 152(7) of the Constitution, the House becomes properly seized of the matter if the motion is supported by 1/3 of the members of the National Assembly. Upon approval of the motion, the House is required to appoint a select committee of 11 members to investigate the matter. 1/3 of all the members of the National Assembly, which is 116.3, rounded off to a whole member, the motion shall require the support of 117 members for it to be referred to a select committee for investigations. With regard to the timelines applicable to the committee, Standing Order 66-5 provides that the select committee shall, within 10 days, report to the Assembly whether it finds the allegations against the Cabinet Secretary to be substantiated or otherwise. If the select committee reports finds that the allegations are unsubstantiated, no further proceedings are taken thereafter. However, if the select committee report finds that the allegations are substantiated, the House is required to afford the Cabinet Secretary an opportunity to be heard and a vote whether to approve the resolution requiring dismissal of the Cabinet Secretary. Pursuant to Article 152(10) of the Constitution, A resolution requiring the President to dismiss a Cabinet Secretary must be supported by a majority of the members of the National Assembly, which is 175 members. A resolution that achieves the required support must be promptly delivered to the President and is bound to dismiss the Cabinet Secretary in question upon receipt. Honorable members, from the foregoing, you will agree with me that once the member for Bumula gives the notice of motion this afternoon, the stage shall be set for the House to commence the consideration of the motion. To this end, members should take cognizance of the constitutional and procedural requirements, the threshold and prescribed timelines at different stages of consideration of the motion that I have just highlighted to you. Honorable members, in summary, therefore, I wish to guide the House as follows. Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. Take the nearest seats. Honorable members, I now wish to guide the House as follows. One, that the proposed motion by the member for Bumula constituency meets the applicable procedural requirements of Standing Order 64 and 66 for it to be admitted and considered by the House. Two, that consequently upon the reading of Order number 6 this afternoon, I will permit the member to give notice of motion for the dismissal of the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development in accordance with the requirements of Standing Order 47-4A. Three, that since today is not a day for debate, in giving notice of the special motion, the member shall limit himself to a summary of its content, state the grounds upon which the special motion has been made, and the names of the members who have appended their signatures in support of the special motion as required under Article 152 of the Constitution and Standing Order 66. That the clerk is hereby directed to publish the special motion for the dismissal of the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Department in the order paper for Thursday, 2nd May 2024, in the manner contemplated under Standing Order 66-3, for consideration by the House during the morning sitting of that day, which has been agreed upon by the House Business Committee. The House is accordingly guided. I thank you. Go to order number 6.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Member for Bumula.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Article 152(6) of the Constitution and Standing Order 64(1)A and 66, I beg to give notice of the following special motion for removal of Honorable Franklin Mithika Linturi, EGH, Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development on the following grounds. 1, gross violation of provisions of the Constitution or any other law. 2, that there are serious reasons believing that the Cabinet Secretary has committed a crime under national law. 3, gross misconduct. This is in relation to the approval of the procurement and distribution of fake fertilizer by the National Cereals and Produce Board and submitting false information to a committee of the National Assembly on the distribution of GPC diatomaceous, which was distributed as a soil conditioner and not as fertilizer.
Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, honorable members. Order. Order, honorable members. It is out of order to be on your feet when the Speaker is on his feet. The House is still in session. Those members who want to have conversations, there's a lobby out there, there's a coffee shop out there, and there are rooms for the Speaker which allow you to go and converse behind here. Let's give the House some reasonable silence to hear each other.
Honorable Speaker, do I start?
Yes, no, continue.
This is in relation to the approval of the procurement and distribution of fake fertilizer by the National Cereals and Produce Board and submitting false information to a committee of the National Assembly on the distribution of GPC diatomaceous, which was distributed as a soil conditioner and not a fertilizer. I have particularized each of the grounds and attached evidence to substantiate each claim. Now, therefore, in accordance with Article 152(6) of the Constitution, this House resolves to recommend to the President to dismiss the Honorable Franklin Mithika Linturi from the position of Cabinet Secretary for gross violation of Article 10, 46, 75, and 201 of the Constitution, the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, and the Public Ethics Act 203, and for gross misconduct. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 66, the following members who constitute at least a quarter of the membership of the House have appended their signatures in support of the notice of motion. I will read. 1, the Honorable Wanami Wamboka, the Honorables Joyce Kamene, Raphael Sauti Bita Wanjala, Fatuma Zainab Mohamed, Paul Musimi Nzengu, James Wambura Nyikal, Gideon Mutemi Mulyungi, Julius Musili Mawadhe, Rebecca Nonaishi Tongei, Pauline Lenguris, Yusuf Mohamed Farah, Dick Maungu Oyugi, Irene Nyakerario Mayaka, Anton Tomo Lodge, Marianne Jebet Kitani, Beatrice Kahai Adagala, Adams Kipsaina Korir, Parashina Samuel Sakimba, Anthony Kibagendi, Martin Peters Owino, Catherine Nanjala Wambilianga, Joseph Maero Oyula, Stephen Mogaka, Doris Donya Aburi, Beatrice Kadeveresia Elachi, Shakil Ahmed Shabir Ahmed, Clive Ombane Gisairo, John Walter Owino, Thaddeus Kidhuan Zambia, Elsie Busihile Muhanda, Frederick Lusuli Ikana, Daniel Ogoka Manduku, Mohamed Aden Ado, Patrick Simiyu Baraza, Zamzam Mohamed Chimba, David Losiako Kosin, Daniel Wanyama Sitati, Gadoni Wamuchomba, Mohamed Saud Machele, Samuel Onunga Atandi, Charles Ngusia Nguna, Mwago Amos Maina, James Opio Wandai, Junet Sheikh Nur Mohamed, Obadia Barongo Nolfason, Gertrude Mbeyu Mwanyanje, Geoffrey Makoha Odanga, Hamisi Chome Abdi, Erastus Kivasu Nzioka, Sarah Polata Korere, Kajwang Tom Joseph Francis, Makali Benson Mulu, Guyo Wako Jaldesa, Paul Kahindi Katana, Joshua Aduma Owor, Joshua Oduma Owor, John Mbadi Ngongo, Mishi Juma Hamisi Mboko, Hussein Abdi Bare. Innocent Obiri Momanyi, Millie Grace Akoth Odhiambo, Irene Mudhoni Kasalu, Patrick Kibagendi Osero, Jerusha Momanyi Mongina, Joshua Odongo Oron, Abubakar Ahmed Taib, Florence Jematia Segon, John Okwisia Makali, Mangale Munga Chifromondo, Geoffrey Ekesa Mulanya, Timothy Kipchumba Torotich, Ekomas Mwengi Mutuse, Gideon Kimau Kipkoech, Victor Kipngetich Koech, Catherine Nahabi Omanyo, Jepto Ngelechei Caroline, Stephen Mule, Lona Sankare, Peter Nabulindo, Mumina Bonaya, David Mboni, Jen Koyo, Charles Owere, Rashid Juma, Bashir Abdullahi, Abdi Ali, Tungule Kazungu, Ngozi Rai, Hari Kombe, Honorable Timothy Wanyonyi, Haika Mizigi, Fatuma Wajia, Kakuta Maimai, Nabwera Nabii, Innocent Mugabe, Christine Ombaka, Kitilai Olentutu, Joshua Malio, Gidua wa Mashukuru, Mark Mwenje, our whip, Geoffrey Ruku, Mary Emase, Eve Obara, Otiende Amolo, Senior Counsel, Peter Orero, Babu Owino, Dr. Joyce Osogo, Amina Mnyazi, Adipo Okwome, J.M. Naika, and Honorable Speaker received even more. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, I'd forgotten Omoher Harun. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Wandai.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me say that this afternoon, I stand before this House a very happy man. Honorable Speaker, today you have made history. I want the Speaker to listen to me. Honorable Speaker, I'm saying that today you have made history. And you have put this House on the pedestal of a transformative institution, an institution that adheres to the rule of law and constitutionalism. Honorable Speaker, under Article 152, this motion by the Honorable Jack Wamboka is the last resort that the people of this country, through their elected leadership,